Emily Parker never imagined how lonely marriage could feel. She and her husband, Daniel, had been together almost 6 years, 5 of those as husband and wife, yet the quiet inside their home felt heavier with each passing season. Nothing dramatic had broken them. No big arguments, no storms of betrayal, just silence. Long, unspoken distance layered slowly day by day. Daniel worked endlessly at a tech company in Chicago, always racing deadlines that never seemed to end. Emily understood his dedication, she truly did, but the understanding became a quiet ache when nights grew quieter, conversations shorter, and shared dreams faded into polite small talk. They ate dinner together most evenings, but it was the kind of togetherness that sat on opposite ends of the table. They spoke of errands, bills, traffic, everything except feelings. Emily no longer shared her worries about her stalled career or how she felt forgotten. Daniel no longer spoke about the pressure he faced at work. The emotional bridge between them simply disappeared. 5 years passed that way. Emily still loved her husband. But she often wondered if love alone could carry loneliness. One early autumn afternoon, while taking out the trash, Emily nearly collided with someone walking up the sidewalk. Startled, she looked up to see a man holding several grocery bags that were tumbling dangerously. "Oh, I'm so sorry," she said instinctively. The man laughed warmly. "No harm done. I probably should have balanced these better." He introduced himself as Michael Turner, her new neighbor who had moved into the vacant house 2 doors down just a month earlier. When one grocery bag slipped and burst open, apples rolling across the pavement, Emily rushed to help gather them. That small moment started something unexpected. Not romance, not drama, but human kindness. Over time, their brief sidewalk conversations turned into friendly chats. Michael was a social worker, helping families in the community navigate hardship and change. He always spoke with calm patience, the kind that made people feel heard. Emily found herself opening up more than she intended, about her doubts, her creative dreams she'd put aside, and how her marriage felt frozen. Michael never offered judgment, he simply listened. One day, while leaning over the fence that separated their yards, he said gently, "You deserve to feel seen, Emily. Even if it takes you reminding yourself first." That sentence settled somewhere deep inside her. Emily had spent years waiting for reassurance she never voiced out loud. But for the first time in years, someone spoke encouragement directly to her soul, without expectation, without pressure. Inspired, Emily began volunteering at the local community center at Michael's suggestion. Helping others stirred something she had forgotten: purpose. Working with families, children, and seniors reminded her of her empathy and strength. It made her smile, genuinely, for the first time in years. Daniel noticed the shift. One evening, as Emily journaled on the couch, Daniel set down his laptop and quietly asked, "You seem lighter lately. Did something change?" Emily hesitated, then chose honesty. "I realized how lost I felt," she said gently. "I don't blame you. But I stopped speaking my needs instead of sharing them with you." Daniel listened, truly listened, for the first time in a long while. He confessed that work hadn't just exhausted him, it had numbed him. He thought providing financially meant he was taking care of their marriage, never realizing emotional presence mattered even more. They talked for hours that night. Not arguing, not blaming, just listening, 2 people finding each other again. Over the next weeks, Emily and Daniel committed to rebuilding what silence had worn down. They scheduled walks together instead of scrolling on phones. They attended communication workshops. They cooked meals together and shared stories they hadn't told in years. And Emily continued her volunteer work. She thanked Michael for his kindness one afternoon as he tended to his garden. "You helped me see myself again," she said. Michael smiled. "You already had the strength. I just reminded you it was there." That was the truth. Michael hadn't done what Daniel couldn't. He had done what Emily herself needed before anything else, believed she mattered. And once she believed that, everything began changing. Months later, Emily stood walking down the sunlit sidewalk hand in hand with Daniel. The weight she once carried was gone, replaced with clarity. She still greeted Michael as they passed by, offering kind waves and gratitude, but her heart belonged firmly at home, renewed and hopeful. 5 years of emotional waiting hadn't been wasted after all. They had taught her something powerful. Healing doesn't begin when someone else shows up. Healing begins the moment you choose to speak, and believe you are worth being heard.